How's it going, everybody? KCG Trades here, back with another trade analysis video, but today we are doing it on one of my favorite stocks, Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. Once again, I'll be going through my entries, my exits, the reason I bought, the reason I sold, everything like that. So let's dive right in, starting with the Tesla chart right here. Before I continue, I want to say thank you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. Let's keep the ball rolling and get me to 1.5K. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's continue with the video. And so let's zoom in a bit more. As you can see here, Tesla had a nice ascending triangle pattern on the daily charts that was holding the 10 EMA, which got me interested in this stock. And if you take a look at the overall arrows, it shows you how many times I actually tried to get in this stock, and that's what you have to be okay with as a trader, especially a trader like me. You're managing your risk. You have very tight stops because you want to be aggressive, and when you're wrong, you get out right away. But when you're right, you just let it ride, get your profit, and get out when it's time to get out. So as you take a look here, I have a lot of arrows, as I just mentioned. I tried a few times. First one is October 4th. I bought and sold in the same day for a loss, and then I tried again October 8th. I bought and sold for a loss. I finally got it right in October 11th. I bought total shares of 10 shares at 79442. I bought another 8 shares at 79556. So I had a total of 18 shares for an average price of 794,927. So I had 18 shares. And since then, it was an easy trade since I bought it that day. Had 6 consecutive green days. But the main reason I bought is because of the relative strength it had compared to the overall market. As we know, if you guys watched my last video, I like to buy things that are showing relative strength and showing a difference than the overall market. And since Tesla was kind of just consolidating for the past month in their chart compared to the overall market. As we see here, same thing with UPST in my last video. The market was an overall downtrend, especially in September, while Tesla, for the most part, in September was kind of just going sideways and even moving up a bit, not having much downside movement whenever the overall market had a down day, and it held the 10 EMA for the most part. Had a couple times it bounced off the 21 EMA, so there was tremendous relative strength there, kind of just showing us that it was just ready to move forward and go up as soon as the market was ready to rip again, and that's exactly what it did. So luckily I got in at a good time. Like I mentioned, I bought 18 shares at 79442, 8 shares at 79556, and my stop loss was just at the low of the same day I bought. So the low of that day was 78556. So I put my stop loss at 785, and at 18 shares I was essentially risking $9.92 per share. So that comes up to a total of $178.686 max loss dollar amount, and a percentage wise that is about a 1.25 max loss. So thinking about it, like, that's a very tight stop, and that's exactly how I trade. I want to minimize my risk as much as possible. Yes, that means you have a lot of small losses, a lot of scratch trades, but that's something you have to be okay with, because when you do get it right, one trade can make up for about like 10 or even 11 of those small losses. So that's what I really tried to execute here. I also really wanted to get in Tesla because of how tight the action was getting for the past 2 weeks in the end of September. So if we take a look here, on the weekly chart, where I bought, look at the range. It was so tight. It was it was just consolidating. Nothing really was going on, and that reminded me of something I always like to think about. From contraction comes expansion, especially the fact that the market was kind of volatile and in a downtrend, in the market correction. Tesla kind of didn't move. It just stayed still, went sideways, and basically rested as the market was so volatile. So this really showed me that this was ready to go as soon as the market put in a follow-through day, and that's exactly what it did. So if we take a look here, based off the rest of my trade, like I said, it was an easy trade for the next 5 days. No real volatility going on. And on October 15th, had a nice green day, so I moved my stop up to there. The next day, it gapped up and had another beautiful green day. So I put my stop under this day. And after that is when some caution started to arise for me. We had a few factors that made me want to consider selling, and that's exactly what I did on Wednesday, October 19th. So after this huge day, we had a nice gap up. I put my stops under the day's low. I let it go for the next day just to see what we would do, if we could gap up and continue higher, or if we would just break down or something like that. I wanted to give it a little bit of room. And if we take a look, I actually sold my full position yesterday, Wednesday, October 19th, for about $867 per share. I sold all of my remaining shares, my full 18 shares, and I did it for a few reasons. One, because I took a look at the overall market, and we were quite a bit extended. We finally got that little pullback today, but if we take a look from October 13th, 14, 15, 16, 18, and 19, we kind of just went straight up. We have a few unfilled gaps. That does show us signs of strength, but it does mean we are a little bit extended. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick rug pull or maybe just a quick drift down, just to let the moving averages catch up to price. I didn't want Tesla to be rug pulled, so I took my whole position off. But that was not the only reason I sold. Another reason I sold is because Tesla actually reported earnings today after market close, so Thursday, October 20th, and I never like to hold positions before earnings. I just have a bad history of earnings, and it's always a 50-50 chance. It's usually just a gamble, so I'd rather just take my profits, move on to the next trade, instead of just being stressed about the overall price action of Tesla after its earnings, even though they do report an amazing earnings report. As of right now, you can't see it, but as of right now, they're reporting earnings and they're down about 1.25% pre-market, aftermarket. So that's not that huge of a gap down, but still something you want to avoid, just because it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. It could gap up, it could gap down. I don't want to be part of that risk. I've been a part of that too many times, and I've got burned in the past. So I've learned my mistakes. Especially the fact that I was already about at a 9% profit for this stock. There was kind of more risk to it going down than opportunity for it to go up, because of not only, like I mentioned, the market was due for a pullback. This had earnings coming up. It had a strong run up for the past 6 days, but also it is quite extended from the 10 EMA. When I sold, it was about, take a look here, it was about a 5% extension from the 10 EMA. So obviously it could be a little more extended, but 5% is quite a lot, especially for Tesla after it being consolidating for quite some time. So all of these things added up kind of gave me more weight to the downside than weight to the upside, and essentially I followed my plan. Like I say, I always want to get out around that 8 to 15% mark. For me, this was a 9% trade, risking only 1.25%. At about a 7.2 to 1 risk to reward ratio, which is amazing, and I'm very happy with this trade. So in total, after my trade being closed, I had a percentage gain of 9.07% and a total dollar gain of $1,297.81 in USD. So great trade in my opinion. It was a very quick trade, very easy trade, easy to manage, and yeah, that pretty much sums up my trade analysis on Tesla. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something. Once again, if you guys liked the video, hit that like button, hit that share button, share with your friends and family, subscribe if you haven't. I want to thank you guys for getting me to 1K. Now it's on to the next goal, get me to 1.5K subscribers. I hope we could do it by the end of the year. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, stay safe.